Welcome to Channel AMAC, your insight to the Australian visa system. Good day everyone, my name is Carl Young, your online YouTube visa consultant. Are you interested about migrate to Australia? Why don't you consider to subscribe to my channel and turn on a little bell on the side so once we have all the updates and news, you'll be the first one of getting all the insight. And of course, thanks for all the fans and viewers of the years in support of my channel. And if you wanted to contribute a little bit by pressing that super chat, a little bit contribution, that will actually boost and help this channel up as well. Over the years, I've got a lot of these, a little bit of the fundings that we introduce into this channel to actually produce all these quarter video and get everybody and get you the updated information. So if you like our channel and like our contents, why don't you press that super chat for us? Anyway, today's I'm gonna provide more updates and also a little bit of summarize of a very confused, complex state nomination rules and things like that. So I'm just gonna be a little bit relaxed chat and talking about how the overall overarching information about all the state skill migration. But first of all, we need to check out some of the news actually coming from South Australia. Now finally, but they haven't really released it and opened it yet. It's gonna be the 25th of August. That's gonna be next week. So anyhow, I don't know why they still have little pending of time, but at least they got news published saying that it's gonna be 25th of August. So if you're ready to go to South Australia, obviously 25th of August, I'll actually provide the updated information in regards to South Australia's criteria. So let's have a look at the news, what it says. All right, when did this actually came out? Let's go right to the button. 19th, which is yesterday. The date I record this video is the 20th. It's Saturday. Anyhow, it's pretty still updated. So important update in 2022-23 skill business migration program opening soon. South Australia has received the interim allocation of places, and how many they got? 5,880 places. So it's considerably still good. I think for Queensland they actually get less than South Australia. I'm not too sure why. But anyway, that's a fact. But I think these interim, what is it, interim allocations? It basically does have a meaning that it may actually have more in the coming month. For example, if we hit that September the skill and job summit and the increase of annual intake happened, would they actually get more allocation than this? I think so. So let's hope that will come up soon anyway. And business innovation investment program, 70 places only. That is really, I don't know what to say. Only 70. All right. Oh, cool. Okay. Let's have a look. General skill migration program to help South Australia urgent skill shortage. The general skill migration GSM program will be open for over 500 occupations. Now, how many is that? That's basically everything. Well, that aligns with what South Australia had already offered previously. Now, whether or not the criteria will have a little bit of changes, we don't know. So all information will be available on Thursday, 25th of August, 2022. Here we go. So that's next Thursday. So make sure that you watch. Well, you'll get notified from my channel that the information is out, and you can actually watch it, listen for all the detail. Please note that skill and business migration website and apply portal will be closed for maintenance on the 24th. Well, you can't apply anyway, so why do they who actually apply and utilize the portal on the 25th before their general skill migration program open? So anyhow, maybe there's someone who wanted to log in and check things out. I don't know. Okay, offshore applicant. South Australia will increase nomination offshore skilled migrants in order to accelerate entry to South Australia labour market. To do this, South Australia will select offshore applicant to apply state nomination from those who have submitted expression of interest about Department of Home Affairs. Well, for sure, they have to do it. If they don't do it, they can't do anything. So EOI is a definite. Offshore applicant will not need to lodge an ROI this program year. Well, okay. And South Australia will be nominating offshore applicant from over 470 occupations. I wonder what are those 30 differences that they don't like from offshore compared to the 500 right up here. Please ensure that information select EOI is up to date. Select South Australia first preferences, and that's it. Onshore and eligible onshore applicant will be able to apply directly from nomination in the following stream. So South Australia graduates working in South Australia, outer regions, and long-term residents. So there are 4 streams. Processing time will regularly updated, and currently residing in South Australia, an imminent subclass 485 visa expiration may request priority. And business skill, again, there's only 70 places, so I'm not gonna bother to talk about this. So anyway, that's the news for South Australia. We don't have much of information as of yet, but it seems to be the 4 streams will be aligned with the previous criteria. I don't think there's gonna be too much of differences there. And how would that go against all the other states and territories criteria? Now again, so let's wrap this all up together for this this week. Obviously, I've done a video yesterday in regard to strategies, but now let's talk about Queensland. So Queensland does have they have how many let's just go in there, have a little summarize of how Queensland's skill migration works. So it does have skill migrant and 4 stream as well. Now the differences between the Queensland and what we just saw on the South Australia stream will be the Queensland does have the small business owner operator, but previously South Australia do have that too. But from the news article that we have just read about, I think it's gone. It's no more business innovation one. There used to be an innovation part here, but don't know, because probably less people apply, they decide to remove it. But well, this is only news. They don't have the detail yet, so we don't know. But anyway, so in Queensland, whether or not you're going to be your graduate with at least IELTS 7, or you got to be master in those STEM field of occupations, or bachelor with a high GPA, stuff like that. If you're not fitting there, you probably will go into working. So once you graduated, you get your 485 visa, and during that time you get your skill assessment done, and also get your employment experiences up to a certain level. And obviously then skilled worker living in Queensland will still work for you. The offshore was only working for a specific occupation. There's Queensland's skilled occupation list specifically designed for the offshore, and if not, you can try 491 and try to be a business owner operating small business in regional Queensland. So that's the way how Queensland will actually work here. The good and bad about Queensland, I think it's quite fair, but it's not as flexible or relaxed as Victoria. Obviously, Victoria will be the biggest winner, but again, once they open criteria to be that easy, that also attract a lot of competitions. Now, remember back in the day, where there were thousands and thousands of graduates in Victoria and Melbourne, and they cannot get invitation, and then they flood into Tasmania. Now, same thing might happen. So again, do not think it's easier. No additional criteria means you actually get it. because if the competition is so high, it will still create issue there as well. So I would still say you still need to fairly pick the state that you want and utilize the strategy that I posted yesterday, so you can have multiple EOI targeting different state, but do not have a multiple EOI targeting one state, or have one EOI targeting multiple states, because that won't work in those systems. Okay, so utilize the strategy. If you missed my video yesterday, you might want to go back there and have a look anyway. So let's go back to Queensland. So I think Queensland is still fair, but the reason that they haven't really relaxed too much, the only relaxation compared to this year's criteria compared to last year was the relax on the English requirement, where if we go back, let's go to the working in Queensland. So previously, where's the English requirement? Here we go. That's the phrase I'm looking for. Previously, even if you're a tradesperson, if you're a cook, chef, carpenter, motor mechanic, you still require to get proficient English, else you cannot actually get nominated. But now they have dropped this down. If you're a trade occupation, you only need competent English. That's the only changes between last year's criteria and this year's criteria. Now, I think the issue is Queensland government hasn't actually got enough quota that has been released in the interim allocation from the immigration. Now, it says interim means it's not full. So meaning that, would it change? I think so. Once we hit that, once we complete, the government complete the Job and Skills Summit in September, and more quota has been released and obviously passed down to all the state and territories, I think criteria will obviously change as well. So there may be another shift of migration, state and territory migration criteria updates again, perhaps. And is that something that Victorian government has actually foresee in order to actually let its criteria to be so simple and plain? Well, probably, but it's also due to the COVID-19 has struck Victoria badly in the past 2 years. Well, you can say that because the state didn't manage the pandemic well, but again, they have suffered the most, so they have been given the most quota in order to fix the state issue there. So anyway, now what we have also updated this week was the New South Wales. So until today, there's not much of changes are updated. Let's have a look. The only thing that we have missed out is the New South Wales hasn't really have their occupation list out. So again, it's still not there. So we don't know what to do with this one. They publish all their criteria, but they just don't have their skill occupation list out as of yet. So don't know what to do anyway. But New South Wales would make their criteria much easier. Well, look, I think it's still fair. The only thing that they have done is they need that residency requirement for 190, so at least 6 more. 6 months is nothing. But the work experience and point score that you require, if you don't have the point score, you won't even meet New South Wales requirements. And other than that, we'll be basically going into the skill occupation list, which they haven't really disclosed of yet. So we don't know what will happen there. But whether in compared to with New South Wales and and Victoria and all the other ones, I think it's the skill migration is still fair, because currently we haven't really seen a skill migrant with actually very low points for a long time. What we have seen and experienced is a lot of people with high points, and they haven't really get invited, right? So I think the current interim allocations will actually fix those people. and plus the new quota will come in. I think by the next shift of the immigration major policy changes is going to be around November. So would these states and territories government updated their criteria once they have received more quota in order to actually fulfill the needs of the skill shortage that's nationwide in Australia? I think that's something that we will watch for, and I think that's gonna come anyway, because currently the interim allocation, the numbers being provided, is based upon the former government's number on the 160,000 annual intake that has been released to all the state and territory governments. But with the new upcoming, remember the federal government is looking to actually bump the migration quota up to about 200,000. Once that's bumped up again for another additional 40,000, I think these 40,000 will largely contribute to skill migrations as well. But that will also flow into the BIP program, that's Business Investment Program, and also the GTI. But BIP and GTI doesn't require that much. So I will assume a lot of these quota will actually go back to the state and territory as well, and that will actually create some more relaxations of the state and territory criteria, and that's probably answers my query: why would Queensland still not providing as much flexibility as how? Well, not just Queensland, but same as all across all the other states, same as Western Australia, anywhere else, compared to what Victoria has actually done. That was the question mark. Obviously, when I see the number, because Victoria got the most, they got a lot of quota. So they wanted to actually digest all that quota. But all the other states has very limited. For example, like Canberra and Tasmania, they got very limited numbers, so they are still very selective rather than open the whole migration door open to actually absorb all the migrants, skilled migrants in that way. Anyway, that's basically for the video today. Just a little bit of chat and my thoughts over the past 2 weeks and what I've seen. And obviously we got a good news today in regards to South Australia. Finally, well, I don't know why they don't do it this way. I've been waiting for it. And it's going to be next Thursday, so all good. But the news doesn't say that they do provide those innovation and small business ownership SBO program. Do they have they closed it? Don't know. So not until next Thursday we'll actually get that updated information. So make sure you subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you next video. Goodbye.